Today's episode is brought to you by DNA Sports Training. If you or someone you know wants to take their game to the next level, then hit up DNA Sports Training. Visit DNASportsDenver.com to book a training session. We offer specialized sports training from football to track and field and everything else in between. Whether you're an offensive or defensive lineman wanting to get better off the ball, or you are an athlete wanting to improve your speed and agility, we have something for you over at DNA. Visit DNASportsDenver.com now and sign up.
Yo,
What up, what up,
look
what
what I
up,
found.
y'all? Guess who's back in this motherfucker?
Oh, I found him.
Guess who's back?
Oh my God, man. So we gotta put it like this to you, man. You got a whole freaking
Talk to me, man.
you got a whole freaking joint, bro. Welcome back.
Man, it's good to be back. I've missed this. I missed you, brother. I missed just this vibe, the people, our listeners, our fans, I've missed them listening to me rant about who knows what.
I see you looking extra Raiderish today, bro.
Oh yeah, it's preseason game number 1 for us. We got to see what we're working with, bro.
See what they're working with. Excuse me.
Hey, everybody who succeeds in life fails first. So we will fail today. And what we got to do is we got to fix that. So that way during the season we're successful. You know what I'm saying?
In Raider Nation, they begin the process to the number 1 pick.
Shit. Here we go. Nah, man, it's beautiful that football's back, bro. I'm excited for it. We'll dive into that a little bit later, you know what I mean? But it's good, bro. It's good times when football is around. Fall's in the air. We start to get a little bit out of the hot, crazy heat.
Weather's cooling down a little bit.
And barbecues and everything else is gonna get going. Like still, because it's been a little too hot to barbecue. Honestly, I'm out there in the Blackstone and I'm sweating.
I mean, yeah, I like to barbecue in the late evening. Maybe a little late evening barbecue.
Yeah, you're right.
What's fun, man, is just being up in the mountains camping and then having breakfast
Having that
on the Blackstone. Oh, bro, that's always a go-to classic. Dude, anything in the mountains is always nice, bro.
I haven't done the mountains in a long time like that. Actually, the last time we did like a family camping trip, bro, it was literally like 24 hours.
No,
It was supposed to be the whole weekend, and we went, and we set up. And then we all got so fucking wasted that we just had to come back home the next day, bro, and tear down. Like,
one of them overnight trips, huh?
One of the best camping trips of my life, though. It's
Dude,
crazy.
I think it'd be fun to take a little trip. I haven't been camping all year this year, dude. I'm kind of disappointed.
That would be dope.
And I think I'm at the tail end now because fucking August is football. Football means we're gonna be weekends at the field.
Yeah.
We were just there yesterday. You got just everything gets busy again, the kids and shit, dude. So I don't know if I missed an opportunity to go camping this year. I'm trying to get Pops to go up, maybe end of August, early September or something during the week, but shit just gets a little difficult with work and family and having to do everything that we have to do.
Yeah, realistically, for me, it would either have to be, next summer and enjoying it, or enjoying the camp or the mountains when it's nice and snowy and it's a whole different scenery.
That would be bad.
So that may be what's in store for the family this winter. But for right now, bro, it's football. I just had my little getaway. You know what I mean? It was great.
You got deported?
Great people. Yeah, bro. INS is a lot more friendly than you would think,
They put you up in a nice resort.
We had some tacos, and some tequila. It's like, nah, bro, it's beautiful, bro. Cancun was beautiful. Other than Montezuma's Revenge, that wasn't very.
I heard it got all y'all. Well, not all y'all,
bro.
but I know like Frank and
It tore me and DJ down one day. We lost a whole day of vacation to it.
so it was while you guys were out there.
Oh yeah, it was for me and DJ. It was while we were out there. We were actually supposed to go to Escaret, and that didn't end up happening. We had more of a excursion in the bathroom. You know what
You
I'm
know
saying?
what
But
suck, bro, is if you're on your flight back
oh yeah,
and then it says, "Hey."
there was a few people there. There was a few people dealing with that. I'm telling you, if I was on the flight back, bro, I probably would have had to stay because like it was projectile from everywhere, and it just wasn't very good scene. But
Didn't you
let's
know
not
not to
gross
drink
up.
the water down there?
I knew after that,
Did you not drink the,
but
eat the
but
ice?
it's the water, it's the fruit, it's just anything. When you go anywhere else, you're not immune to some of the bacteria that you may be exposed to.
That butt guy,
You know
that
what I
gut
mean?
biome's real, bro.
But it was beautiful, bro. Like, it's a lot more pricey than you think too.
Yeah.
Just because you're going to all inclusive resort, don't mean that you're not gonna go into
Oh,
town.
they include that price.
Don't mean you're gonna break bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything, but I'd do it again in a heartbeat, bro. We were with good people. It was fun. My family enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it.
So what's up?
All the families that were with us enjoyed it. It was a good time, bro. And it was beautiful. The weather, it was a little hot.
A little hot.
The moisture was crazy, but
Humid, huh?
yeah, bro. Other than that, it was beautiful. We missed out on fishing as well. You know,
Here we
shout out
go.
shout out to our boy Zach G. They
I know
went,
Zach G out there because that boy a real angler.
bro. Well, the thing is we had just missed out on the money from Escaret and DJ. We had given him the medication to kind of get him right.
Okay.
That fool slept from 3 p.m.
Slip that shit off.
until the next day, bro. And when they were booking the fishing trip, I was like, I don't want to commit more money and then lose money that I don't have because I just lost out on Escaret.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we didn't do it, but they had a good time. It was beautiful. The pictures he sent were beautiful, but it was great, bro.
That's what's up, dude. I mean, it sucks that you missed out on the fishing, but maybe we'll get you out here fishing.
Yeah, maybe. Because you guys keep playing with me, acting like I ain't
Duh.
Himothy.
I've been fishing.
Acting like I'm gonna go out there and start doing the
That'd be
damn
dope.
thing, bro.
That'd be
Like,
dope. I don't
they'll be
think.
like, damn, like, this dude had it in him from the get go. It's just, sometimes.
Well, there's a lot of things you've had in you, but
Pause. Damn, I should have paused it. I didn't even realize I did that to myself. Hey, that's a good one. I missed that.
but no, man. I went up yesterday, dude. I woke up in the morning and was like, I'm gonna go hit it up. Shout out to Matt over there at the Canyon Fly Shop, bro. He turned me on to a little spot.
He turned you on, did he?
You
See how
fucking
he got you
dickhead.
right back.
Turned me on to a spot. Not turned me on, but he turned me on to. There's a difference there. Difference between having something versus okay. Anyhow, but man, I must have caught hooked in about a dozen fish yesterday. It was a great learning experience too, because I was only there a couple hours, but like I couldn't land the first like 4, 5, 6 fish, dude. They just kept. I get into a certain point, they hop off, and kind of started working my technique, thinking in my head what they've told me before to do, and kind of kept that rod a little bit higher and let them fight a little bit longer. And slowly after that, dude, I just started landing them. So it was dope. It was good little. It's always fun to see yourself grow, and we teach the kids. And we see it when we coach kids. Like all of a sudden, when the shit clicks to them, and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's what it was." That's what it was with me yesterday, bro. Like literally, like I've been told a bunch of times to do it a certain way, and just for whatever reason, habits. Thinking that I can power this little fish, and nah, man, you got to use the technique, especially with barbless hooks and shit. You got to use the technique, bro. And I started landing them. I was excited, bro. Foul in the water too.
You did.
Kind of. I tripped and fell back, and so I sat in the water. So I had some of the water going inside of my waders. I had a little wet ass.
So now that river's like low tide.
No, I didn't suck up all the water out like you. My asshole don't got suction like yours, bud.
No, but it's like.
No,
Like
no,
Moses part
no,
in the
no. It
sea.
was like the slowest fucking fall ever, dude. It was like, oh shit, I'm falling, I'm falling, and I just wasn't athletic enough to keep myself from falling and sitting in the water. So,
Hey man, speaking of athletic enough, we football's back in the swing of things, and it's all preseason. That's what today's about. That's what the season has been about up to this point. It's preseason for us too, right?
yep,
And so since I've been back, I checked out Coach Art's team. They had a scrimmage against the Thoroughbreds. They started off a little bit slow, but then they got things going. And I'll tell you what, mid-season, man, when they get it going, that team's going to be something to deal
hell
with.
yeah,
So shout out to Coach Art and all his boys for working. His coaching staff is amazing. They're sending the right message to these kids. They're positive, and they're making sure that we're not for no BS.
yep.
We perform on the field. That's what we do.
Yep.
you know, and that's a great message, and I'm glad he has those guys on his staff because that's what we're trying to build over here. And then we had our little thing yesterday, and to be honest, bro, like we it was a rough day for us. There was a lot of things that we got to clean up, obviously, and there was a lot of obvious good things that we seen too. But we went against three of really good football teams,
Yep.
in my opinion. So shouts out to all those guys. We went against the Wolverines. We went against the Wild County Bears and the Thoroughbreds, and those are all top teams in my opinion in the state at their respected in their respected leagues or whatever level they play at. But it was a great turnout. Shout out to Demonte Thomas for putting that on. He's someone who's trying to give back to the community and build up football the right way. And nothing but respect for him and what he's doing, and nothing but respect for all the other coaches that we seen yesterday because they came out and there was good things and bad things for them too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It was good. It was good work, man.
it was good work.
I know for me personally, the offense didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but it was definitely an opportunity to see what kids can play where. You don't always get to find out in practice. Some kids are gamers versus just like, practice gods. You got
Yeah.
kids that are practice gods that'll tear it up in practice, get to a game and be sharp tissue. And then you get kids that just, for whatever reason, they're I won't call them lazy, but for whatever reason, they don't do as well in practice. And then you get them in a game situation and it just, natural ability takes over at that point. So I think there's a lot to learn from our failures. And I didn't get a chance to say it yesterday, but I always say it, and we always say it that losses aren't losses; they're lessons. So we'll take some of the lessons that we learned yesterday. It was great to get that touchdown against the Broomfield team at the end there. It was nice to get that little touchdown. Samuel doing his thing and showing good vision, cutting back against the grain, and working hard, man. This is what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to get them in game-like situations, and these little round robin scrimmages were a great opportunity to get them in game-like situations against multiple teams. And I was telling some of the kids on the sideline yesterday, like, I know these results don't matter to us so much. We're getting good work out here. We want to get out there and score. We want to get out there and try to win the scrimmages. But the best part about the scrimmage is just now you get to hit somebody else. You ain't got to hit each other. We've been spending the last couple of weeks kind of going up against each other and competing with each other, and to get out there in the preseason style environment and be able to hit somebody else before our first game is good to get them jitters out.
Yeah, and it's also good to get some of the kids who maybe been missing a few practices or are just new to the football game, seeing that element, you know what I mean, getting hit for the first time and kind of saying, okay, I can either
Yep.
deal with this or I'm gonna shy away from it because we have to see that too, so that way we know where to develop each kid at. Because
Yep.
each kid develops at a different pace, but you all have to go through the same thing, right? The same development every single year. You start back at day one, you know what I mean, and you work your way forward. Um, so we got a lot of good things to do with these guys, and a lot of things that we're gonna build off of because there was some good things there. Shout out to Edward for playing hard all day. We get tailback. He's gonna be that piece that we add to the backfield. Shout out to Samuel, bro, playing both sides of the field
No.
and playing great at safety. To be honest, he cleaned up a lot of tackles back there for us. He was flying all over the field. Shout out to the line. I know it was a little rough. They were seeing blitzes that we haven't really even worked on yet,
Yeah.
and they were adjusting. We had to move some pieces around, and DJ played all over the line. He did what he was supposed to do, and Matthias got into his groove towards the end, and Jordan and Princeton got into their groove at the end too. So
Jordan and Princeton were working that double team real
they
well on
they
that
bro.
backside that
So
we were
there
hitting.
there was a lot of good
Yeah.
things to
Yeah.
pull out of that whole day. Even our smaller corners, they were a little bit timid. They were a little bit confused on where they had to be.
Right.
But once they kind of got into the mix, they were fighting off the block, containing that edge and making plays. There's still some work to do for sure,
Well,
but
and I even think as me as a coach, like it gave me an opportunity to understand some things that I need to work on, just whether it be my prep, whether it be some of my thoughts on how I do certain things within the game. It's preseason for everybody. It's preseason for the parents. I made a joke to Syria and them over there because they're messing with the camera, and I was like,
yeah,
preseason for the camera crew too.
yeah. No, and shout out to them for filming for us
Hell
because
yeah.
now we got stuff to really watch and break down. Because in the heat of the game, you miss a lot.
Yeah.
Even though we've seen a lot,
Yeah.
we miss a lot
Well,
too.
I mean,
So
sometimes you think you see a certain thing in the heat of the moment, in the heat of action, and then you get a chance to go break down film, and you realize, oh shit, I shouldn't have yelled at that kid because it wasn't necessarily his fault right there. He was doing what he was supposed to do, or there's always a little wrinkle here or there that you
for
don't
sure,
necessarily see on the field because it's especially where we're at on the field, kind of behind the action. It's not easy to see everything, and you're watching the action and dude, I almost shoulder checked a kid yesterday by out of just like reflex. I might have been a little too close, and the play spilled over into the backfield, and the kid was running right toward me, and I seen him out the corner of my eye, and I did one of these numbers, and he brushed off the front of me. Thankfully, he didn't run into me, dude, because it would have looked like I shoulder checked him, like if I was laying a block out there. So I just want to make sure.
coach out on the peel back.
Dude, it looked like I
Oh
was,
man,
bro. And the messed up part, the play was, away about 10 yards away from us. So it would have been one of those, dude, it looked horrible on film. I know it would have.
yeah, no, and yeah, man. There's a lot of good things, bro. Like a lot of good things. We got a lot of new kids too
Yeah,
that still need the development, and that's what I was clear with parents on. Is like I'm not gonna put your kid in a position to get hurt.
yeah,
If
absolutely.
they don't fundamentally know how to tackle, I can't ethically put them out there to play.
Yeah,
I'll give them a few plays here and there, but I'm not gonna put them in a situation where they're gonna get hurt, especially against some of the teams we seen yesterday.
yeah.
Those kids have been playing for a few years, so to
Well,
put a new kid out there, you're putting him on an island,
and
really.
that's kind of what I was preaching to the kids a little bit. Like, just be patient, guys. Like, this isn't even our first game. We're getting a look, trying to figure out what some of y'all can do.
Yeah,
Give us some time. I know you want to run the ball. I know you want to get in. Everyone wants. There's one football. Everyone wants to run it, catch it, and throw it. Like, no one wants to not do that. That's the glory, right? But explaining to them that sometimes our role in the team dictates us do something that maybe isn't the most glamorous thing to do, but it's also the right thing to do. You're the best suited to do that, and that's something that they should take pride in. Like, if you're best suited to be able to get out there on the edge because you're quick and you're able to pull, dude, that's not a slight at that kid. That's not, hey, you're a pulling guard or you're a offensive lineman. Like, that's what you got to be. Nah, man, you got to take pride in the fact that you're the first line of defense. You're the first line of protection, right? When I designate a pulling guard, I try to find somebody that's quicker, lighter on their feet, but yet very strong. Very savvy in offensive line skill. Because, dude, that's what you need out there in open space. When you're pulling, you're not necessarily going up against tackles, defensive tackles. Maybe the biggest person you're going against is a defensive end, but you're going against shifty cornerbacks, shifty defensive
linebackers.
linebackers, shifty safeties, and you got to be able to be able to block them, even if it's just getting hands on them real quick and then getting in the way. And being able to do that requires a certain touch of athleticism, and I don't think it should be looked at in a negative light, man. That's an offensive lineman speaking though, but it's an honor to be able to protect your quarterback and open up holes for your running back, and to know that the whole game is built off of your back.
Yeah, and regardless of that, right? It's all about availability.
Yeah,
Football, any sports is about availability. You have to make yourself available when called on, when needed, and do what is necessary for the betterment of the team. You know what I mean? This isn't an individual sport, bro. This is a team sport. So it's all about like being versatile and being ready when called upon and making sure that you're laser focused to where you can pick up multiple positions and play.
it's
Especially shout out to Mason. Let's talk about
yo,
Mason.
little Mason's my dude.
Mason is a kid who's been new to our team, right? A couple years. But ever since day one, he's been laser focused. He's here. He loves football. He wants to learn, and he plays multiple positions. So with the running back out, there it makes perfect sense to put him in there, even though that may not be where he plays all
Yeah,
season, right? He's probably low on the depth chart when it comes to that position, but he knows the plays.
yeah,
He does what's asked of him and he listens. And when we're trying to develop chemistry in the backfield, we need somebody who can do
yeah,
those things. And when we move him from that position, someone who's not going to say, "Well, I thought I was running back," or you know what I mean, like he's unselfish, man. That kid is I just love that kid, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
he's a
so
great kid, dude.
how versatile he's been, and where he lands up might end up being on the line helping blocking,
Yeah.
or in a tight end position, or maybe not even on the offense side of the ball. You know what I mean?
Dude, I think I
So
threw him at receiver yesterday.
yeah, but I mean, I just think a lot of people can learn from someone like that, right?
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned it on Friday. You were like, "Hey, just focus on doing your job." And you said it's not an individual game; it's a team sport. You got to be individually ready for what the team wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to be able to know your assignment and maybe the guy next to you and behind you's assignment as well. I think that's the best way to be the best football player you could be is to know everyone's job on the field, right? And then do your job, but know everyone's job because that way you're not looking. If somebody doesn't pick up, a blitzing linebacker, you have you're better equipped to understand who and why who missed that assignment and why. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And or on the flip side, when you're lined up and you see that approach, you know your assignment, you know the person to the left use assignment, and you can talk to each other and be like, hey, this is what we got to do real quick because this linebacker's blitzing. All right, you have to pick up the black backer. I'll pick up this defensive tackle or so. Just for an example. But just you gotta be able to know multiple positions on the field so that you can instruct and help each other and be a great teammate.
Yeah, for sure, man. It was fun though. We got a lot of work to do, and we got a lot of work in yesterday. But I guarantee you one thing's for sure, two things for certain. We're gonna be ready week one.
The thing is, if we would have went out there and just blew the doors off everything, um, we as coaches would have said still found things that we need to work on,
Definitely.
right? But maybe your kids on the team they don't see the urgency as much, right? Oh, we were so good against these teams. There's nothing like humble pie.
See, and that's the difference. What you just said, bro. I'm glad you said that because a lot of coaches can take from that, right? Because that's the difference between coaches who are really there for the development and the betterment of the players and coaches who are there just to win, right? Because of course we love to win. We're
Yeah,
competitive, and we are there to win. That's what we're here for,
yeah,
right? I've said it many times. We are coming.
yeah,
I'm taking Dion's slogan. We're coming. But the bottom line is, bro, is even if we do good, we're gonna find what we need to do better,
yep,
right? We're gonna always try to have continuous improvement, right? If you're a defensive end and you're getting to the quarterback and you're just getting sacks and you get there in 4 or 3 seconds, I'm gonna tell you get there in two.
yeah,
If you get there in two, I'm gonna say, well, let's get there in one. You know what I mean? Like it's always about trying to make yourself better, trying to find out what is the best for the team, moving kids around, finding kids and finding their homes and really where they're suited and they bring value to the team at.
that's right.
And so I don't know, man. It's fun. I'm glad it's back. I'm glad I'm back.
I mean, the weeks are gonna go by,
Quick.
dude. They're gonna go by. It's like anything else these days, bro. And when I was younger, I never believed it, but they used to always say the older you get, the faster time goes. And dude, like it just flying by now. I mean, my boys are getting big. Like just the teams. I see some of these kids, and I'm like, shit, man, we getting older. So before you know it, we'll be at the end of the season. And my only hope is that we're better our last day of the season, wherever that ends up being. I hope we're a better team, and we should be a better team than we were the very, very first day of the season when we stepped on yesterday in the scrimmages.
That's the goal, right? Always to get better. Chase chase perfection, fall to
I
greatness.
was like, man,
Jeez, I couldn't get it out that
I was
time.
like, spit it
We're
out,
never gonna
dog.
be perfect, but we're gonna chase it and then we're
Yeah,
gonna fall to being great. That's just what we do.
man, it was great.
It was kind of, I don't know.
It was great for me.
I mean, it was
It was great for boxing that the fight happened.
well anticipated. We talked about it for too long, and then we finally got it. Spence and Crawford, bro. It went down.
So I know we were a couple weeks behind. Last week we didn't get together. I let me and Dom had things, but yeah, Spence Crawford.
Yeah, we got to talk about it because we've been waiting for this
Dude,
personally.
we've been
So,
hyping this thing up
so
since November when we thought it was happening. Got wooed. So yeah, I definitely got to talk about Spence Crawford. What was your thoughts on the fight, man? I know
man,
I called it a great fight because personally I was like that the guy I picked won, so it's a great fight. But
no, listen, I would say it was a great fight too. I was just giving you a little bit of grief, because
it wasn't great in the sense where it was like a Barrera You
Yeah, it
know,
wasn't one of those ones,
them wars.
right? But what it was a clinic.
Yeah, it was clear.
Boy, Bud is that dude. In case anybody forgot, anybody doubted him, he's that dude, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, Spence is good, and I hope that he's good to bounce back, be completely healthy, and everything's good with him because I've seen a lot of different stories
yeah.
about
That's what
people
everyone's.
trying to like encourage him to retire, and he had all kinds of things, all kinds of speculations. I
You know,
don't
with
really
his
want to.
old accident in his eye and everything like that.
Mm,
Yeah, I seen that,
yeah,
man.
bro, but hope so. Hopefully, nothing but good wishes for him. He bounces back as quick as possible, and he comes back better and ready to hopefully get a rematch in there and make it a little bit more of a fight, bro. But Bud was just picking him apart from what I can tell. But it
Bro.
was kind of hard for me to tell because we had to watch it on my 12-inch iPad in my hotel room back in Mex. We got wooed. Speaking of being wooed, I got wooed again on this fight, bro. So the sports bar inside of our resort was supposed to have the fight. I went early in the morning, talked to the guy. He's like, "Yeah, my friend, we're gonna have the fight here tonight." So we went to dinner, and then my boy Zach G went to go check on the fight. And the dude's like, "Oh, bro, we got some fights, but they're like ESPN Plus, right? They weren't ready to fight." So
He said, "Yes, my friend, we're gonna have a fight, but it's gonna be the two people in the back."
yeah, so I told him, I said, "You know what? I'm going back to the room. I'm gonna put it on the iPad. We're gonna watch it." The iPad was letting me stream Netflix, cast Netflix to the TV, but for some reason it would not let me cast the fight. So we had to watch. We were all hovered. I mean, all of us, bro. Were
Oh
hovered
fuck!
in my room over the 12-inch iPad watching Bud put on a clinic, and it was impressive on the iPad.
Yeah, I should
So
put all your phones on and put them all together and shit. You could have made one big giant screen.
yeah, I could have only noted like just if I would have watched that on my screen at the crib, it would have really been like bad to see for Spence. Honestly, in my opinion,
I mean, he was getting tagged. He was definitely getting tagged. Um,
he couldn't do nothing
Dude,
with it.
Bud was just
And but his punches also just seemed like nothing, right? Like to Bud,
well,
like
and there were a lot of people were pointing out, maybe he is dehydrated. He had the look of being dehydrated because he had to cut weight, and that's a whole nother
that
conversation
is.
in the whole deal, man. Because that shit's dangerous, and sometimes fighters aren't their best when they're cutting weight. But I mean, that
It
being said,
was.
you had the time, man. Like you had the time for this fight. Like be ready, and he looked. I mean, he looked fit. He looked ready,
Yeah,
and
you do this. Like I don't want to hear none of that, bro. Like just give credit when the credit is due because you got your ass whooped.
what did Mike Tyson say? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Wow,
Yeah,
Spence had the plan, and that second round when he got dropped, bro, I knew it was like, God dang, that was quick, and he just had a different look in his face after that. It was kind of like the Garcia Tank fight when
yeah.
Ryan got hit
At least
and
Spence
tasted
didn't.
that power.
Yeah, at least Spence.
Oh, Spence was a warrior.
Spence Warrior
Bro,
through it. He
Spence was a
stood.
war, and that's what made the fight great. Was that he not once did he like back down or did he like
I honestly thought they were gonna stop it early though.
yeah,
Like from what I was seeing, bro, and knowing where like boxing has kind of gotten to,
yeah.
like with CTE and everything and all these head traumas. I just thought I was like, this dude, he just looks like he's taking a beating, bro. They're gonna stop it soon. Like,
You see the meme of the Martin meme where Martin's face is all beat up and they said that was Earl Spence after the fight.
bro, he was tagged, and Crawford didn't even look like he
Dude,
sparred.
Bud barely looked like he broke a sweat, bro.
Yeah,
It was wild,
no,
dude.
he's that dude, bro. You better start putting respect on his name. And I hear fighters saying they can do this with him, they can do that with him. I'll see.
Do you think
We'll
they run it
see.
back? They have like 30 days from the day of the fight to initiate the rematch clause.
Regardless of how the situation, I don't know if it's a good idea for Spence.
Okay.
Like I think Spence. I mean, obviously if Spence comes back and does his thing and wins the fight, and then we got a trilogy, and we're talking a whole different story.
Right.
But if he gets back in that ring with him again and loses again in that fashion,
It's bad for his
it's bad
legacy.
for his legacy and his career. I
Yeah.
think maybe the rematch. As much as we were anticipating the original fight, maybe the rematch doesn't need to happen right away.
There was people saying that he should fight Ryan Garcia now, being that they both lost. Ryan Garcia lost today. I think he beat the shit out of Ryan
I think
Garcia.
he'll whooped the shit out of Ryan.
Especially after seeing
And I
what
seen him
Ryan did
talking
against
about
Tank.
Tank fighting Crawford or something. He was
Yeah,
calling like, come on, bro, come on.
I like Tank, man. Dude. I think, like you say, Bud's that dude. He's him. He's definitely that dude. A pound for pound, the best, and you have to agree with it. It's hard to argue after what you just seen him do. You had a week later Jake Paul and Nate Diaz throwing them things.
Yeah,
Did you watch
bro,
that one?
I did watch it, and that wasn't quite as good of a fight. You know what I mean?
That was not a great fight.
But it was also still a clinic.
Well, what's dope though is Nate was clearly outclassed.
He was,
And he's a fighter
soldier,
though, bro.
He
He's
is
a
a
warrior,
soldier,
dude. That
like,
dude was banging to the very end, even giving a run at it a couple of times. There's a couple of rounds where he kind of gave a run at it, and um, you know, shout out to Jake Paul for what he's doing, and if he's real about getting into the cage with Nate in an MMA fight,
yeah,
sign me up. Um, they were saying, I was telling you this off air. They were saying that Nate made 20 million off of this fight,
that's crazy, bro.
and that's more than he's made combined in the UFC.
That's crazy. And you know what you just said, but shout out to the Paul brothers in general,
Yep.
what they're doing. Like, I know there's a lot of people who hate what they're doing and say that they're making a mockery of the sport and things like that. But in all honesty, bro, like, I think they're bringing a lot of attention back to the sport that we've lost. You know what I mean? That's been overshadowed by other sports. You know what I mean? And now they're including other sports, and now
Well,
he's gonna take it into potentially into the cage where he's gonna get choked out. Like at the end of the fight too, right? Diaz was like, I had you with the rear naked or something. He told him twice, like, I could have had you, bro. If it was,
choked
I
you
could
out.
have choked you out, dog. Like, come on,
Well,
you ain't a fighter, bro. Like,
you said he's bringing awareness back to the sport, right? Like they're helping. Um, you're getting other promotions to step their shit up and put together these mega fights that are supposed to happen. The Crawford Spence fights, the Tank versus Garcia fights. You're getting people to actually, put these fights together instead of just hand picking opponents. And then it's putting pressure on the boxers. Like, these reality stars are looking better than you guys, are putting better fights on you guys, making mega bucks, and y'all don't want no taste of that. Like, you guys don't want this. Like, what? So it puts a little pressure on everyone else, man, to kind of step to the table with some realness, and to stop bullshitting and let's get these real good fights out here, man. And that's why I'm excited to see. If Crawford fought Tank, cool, love it for boxing. No. If Crawford fought, there was a one I saw that he was saying to fight Canelo at like 160. You know what I mean? Cool. I think Canelo might be a little big for him at that weight, but whatever. There's also people throwing shade at Crawford. I seen on Facebook. I forget the I won't shout out the page, but they suggesting that Vada got to go see him, that he's juicing.
yeah.
And that was one of the arguments with the whole Tank Garcia or the Tank Davis fight, that it wouldn't happen because Mayweather's all about Vada and getting them involved, and that Crawford wouldn't want that noise. And it's like, dude, sometimes you're just good.
Yeah.
So and it's not like he hasn't been good his whole career. 40-0 now. My thing is, do you think he tries to push it to 50?
Hey, why not? Why not chase the dude that is the dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in all honesty, I was gonna ask you earlier, do you think, like, overall, like, where do you think he ranks up in the history of boxing? Not just with the current class that he's in, but like he's doing things that have never been done before. You know what I mean? And he's not done yet. So like we talk about the Mayweathers, we talk about all these great fighters. Where's he at in that conversation?
I mean, you would have to say he belongs somewhere in the conversation for sure. He doesn't have to feel like a guest in terms of, rating rating his position in within that 140 to 147 range. He's been great for a long time. He's unified two different bout groups now. What was the 140s and 147s. I think, man, it's hard to say in that division because there's so many, dude. The welterweight division historically has been great. That's one of the greatest divisions in boxing historically, bro. But you got to envision top 15, top 10
Yeah,
in that, and he
yeah,
has an argument anyway.
yeah. I think so too. I mean, I think what he's done up to this point is very, very impressive, right? And can get him in the top 10 conversation just based off what he's done. But when he's finished, it could be really, really like historic, in my opinion. Like
And that,
he can break everybody's records and everything like that. Like you said, at 50-0.
that's the thing it's going to be, is what it's going to be like. What is it going to look like when he's done?
Yeah.
Because when he's done, he may go out to that 50-0. We never thought the Spence Crawford fight was going to happen. There might be big fights that are going to happen that we didn't think that would happen. Maybe he does fight Canelo. Maybe he beats Canelo. You know what I mean? Like it starts to not just in his weight class, where does he rank all the time, but overall boxing, where does he rank all the time? And you start having these fights and winning the fights that he has, you start putting yourself in them conversations, and it's not blasphemy. It's justifiable that you're in those kind of conversations.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you bring up Canelo. Canelo has another big fight on his hands that he got to worry about.
Yeah, he
You know what
does.
I mean? Because
Charlo, no joke,
yeah,
man.
he ain't getting in with nobody that's just gonna let him beat him up on a single de Mayo. You know what I mean? And now it's in September.
Yeah,
You know what I
Mexican
mean?
Independence Day.
And Mexican Independence Day, it's gonna be a big fight in Mexico. I guarantee you, I would have been able to watch that one at the resort.
Oh, I guarantee they had that shit working fine.
Yeah, we'd watched it on the beach on the big screen. But you know what I'm saying? But Canelo has Jermell Charlo.
Yep, Jamal Charlo's legit, bro.
He's also one who can be the truth, bro, and he's coming for that exactly. He's not shying away from any conversation. Tyson picked Canelo, and Charlo's like, whatever, bro. Like, pick who you pick. We'll see.
Yeah,
We're gonna find out in September. I'm gonna beat him, and then I'm gonna beat whoever else you say is the best. So we talk about Crawford. Like, will their lines ever mix if we put Canelo in that mix? If he beats Canelo, now what are we talking about? There's a whole possibility of things,
a lot of things change. Just
especially the way fighters just bounce around and they're able to just go from one weight to the other, bro. It's impressive and it's also remarkable to see. You know what I mean?
no, there's another one that they were talking about. Bud fighting was Jamal Charlo, which yes, please. Like,
Yeah,
let's do it.
sign it
The
up.
fact that, dude, the fact that these dudes' names are getting brought up, like these big time boxers' names are getting brought up, like, let's go. I'm all about it, dude. Because if you wanna improve the sport, that's the best way to do it. And I know Canelo has his eyes on another fight with Bivol, but he doesn't seem like he wants to go to 175 to make that fight happen. He wants to have that catch weight.
Yeah.
So all right, just stay and fuck with the Charlo brothers, man. Stay and see what you can do down there at super middleweight, and you know, at this point, man, I want to see some exciting fights, bro. Let's get it popping.
Yeah, and that set the tempo off right? And now we're gonna go into the latter end of the year. Hopefully Canelo and Charlo's amazing. And then we'll see what the first quarter of the year has to bring.
Yo, we're gonna clip and cut these shitty fights and get these good ones in. And speaking of clipping and cutting, shout out to our folks over there at Cutthroat Barbers and Anglers on 38th and Pierce in Wheat Ridge. AJ the chef leads a team of excellent barbers providing all the latest cuts in men's hair fashion. The fellas at Cutthroat take the art of barbering to the next level. They've got a chair open for you. Actually, just opened up a fourth station over there. So make sure you go check out cocutthroat.com and book yourself a service. Shout out to AJ and his team over there. They're killing it, doing an amazing job. Just recently on Channel 7 News. Also, shout out to the Canyon Fly Shop, which is also inside there, man. I was there the other day buying some flies and visiting Matt over there, getting some knowledge, man. And dude walks in the front door. He's like, "Oh my God, it's a barber shop?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I was looking for the fly shop." It's in the back. It's like one-stop shop, man.
Yeah, it
For
is.
me as a fisherman, love it.
Bro, it's dope even if you're not really a fisherman, right? Because I went in there and got my cut before Mexico, and
Yeah, he was saying he talked to you.
from when we did our original pod over there
Yeah,
to now, bro,
yeah,
it's night and day, and I'm just like, damn, bro, this is cool. You,
yeah.
you love to see good people, bro. Your friends like just succeeding, bro. And
Dude, I
right
was
now,
telling AJ that
everything's
exact
it's
thing.
clicking for him, bro, and I'm so happy for him. I couldn't be any happier, and If you're in the neighborhood, if you're in Wheat Ridge, stop by, bro. Have a good conversation, get a good cut. You know what I mean? Buy you some flies, buy you some equipment.
Yeah,
Whatever.
support local,
There's
man.
a lot going on in that shop, and
Yep.
you need to find out what's there. If you're not there, then you're missing out.
Yo, dude, the Canyon's doing a giveaway right now for their customers. They're giving away a bunch of cool shit. So if you go in there, sign up for that. You can win yourself this really nice catch cam net, a couple shirts, couple hats, just a bunch of swag, dude. So it's pretty dope, man. Like a dozen flies. So,
The,
yo,
the wifey probably hates it because AJ got you hooked, bro. See,
while she see,
no pun
I,
intended, but he got him hooked because that
hey,
was in
I've
there.
always been a fisherman though. I've always loved
I
fishing,
know,
but now
but
I got another way to go fishing, dude.
yeah,
And I'm just
well,
like, yo,
and
this a whole different world to me.
not only that though, right now he got you hooked on the fishing because he knows that's how he gets you. But now you're also enjoying those great conversations in the chair,
Yep,
getting your
I'll be there
cut.
Friday.
You know what I mean?
I'll
Getting
be
your
there
cut,
Friday.
getting cleaned up.
She likes when I go to the shop and get cut up because I come back very handsome like.
Yeah,
So maybe that's when I should like buy all my fishing equipment.
yeah.
Go get my cut, get my fishing equipment,
Don't
and
put
then she's like, "Oh, you got some new stuff.
don't
Oh, look
push
at your
your
hair.
luck,
Look at your
bro. Come on.
hey. Sally's very understanding, bro. She
I'm sure
understands.
she is, but
All right,
don't push your luck.
don't make me get her a fly rod too, bro. Because once I get her hooked too,
Once you.
you know what they say about people that fish together? They eat fish together.
Oh,
I don't know what the fuck they say. No.
doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Shout out to Cutthroat Barbers in English. Shout out to the Canyon Fly Shop, cocutthroat.com, canyonflyshop.com, man. We appreciate you guys, man, with nothing but love. Go listen to the podcast last week, or last episode with Matt and Jalen and AJ. AJ sat in as a little special guest host, man. And dude, I'm telling you, the spot looks great. But
Yeah,
looking back, man, football season's here.
yes.
We're talking about us, but now preseason's going in full swing. Dom's all swagged up. Who you rocking?
Crosby.
Little Crosby.
you
I
know,
thought you maybe wearing a throwback.
Nah. I gotta support Crosby, man. The way he works, he's a coach's guy.
He's that dude, bro.
He puts in that work. He wants to be the best in the league.
Amazing
Not
story.
only for him, but for everybody.
Yeah, I like that he wears 98 in a league now where you can wear single digits on the defensive line. 98, 99s, and 90 numbers. Them were some classic defensive lineman numbers, bro. All the best ones wore those numbers.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. He is definitely a gamer. We got brought in Marcus Peters. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to rectify that defensive side of the ball, bro. Get it where it needs to be because that's been our Achilles heel
Dude,
for years.
you mentioned Achilles heel. What you think about some of these injuries that are happening during the
God,
preseason? Jalen Ramsey for the Dolphins going out. You know that was looking hopeful.
And it's been rough for Denver, bro. I feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Because it's been rough. They've been having dudes go down left and right.
Tim Patrick blew out his Achilles.
Yeah, and you hate to see that regardless of what team you root for. I mean, at least me anyway.
Well,
Someone
dude-
who respects the game, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
hate to see players go down. You hate to
dude
see
working
them
his
get
way
injured.
back and
Like, not only is it a game, bro, but this is how they feed their families. So,
yo.
hopefully everybody who's injured, I know there's some season-ending injuries already, but hopefully they're able to recoup and recover and do whatever they do with their therapy and start that process sooner rather than later so that way they can get back doing what provides for their families.
Well, man, with NFL preseason starting, you getting the games going on. You see, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. What they're gonna do. You kind of get us going into fantasy, which will maybe next episode do a little fantasy episode,
Yeah,
put something together so that we can wrap fantasy with the folks. But you also have free agents still on the board, man. You still have some really good talent on the board. What do you make out of Dalvin Cook and Jadeveon Clowney still being on the board?
man, first of all, it's almost getting to the point where we have to take a moment of silence for running backs.
Dude,
It's a dying position, but it's a valuable position. I just don't get it, bro. Like, I know the wear and tear on them and what happens to their bodies and the revolving door that goes around the running back position, but
it's probably the one position that transitions over some of the easiest from college to NFL, and that's probably why it's dying because the fact that you can just take a kid you draft for 3 or 4 years and pay him, you know, a fraction of what you would pay, what the best running backs in the league, and perhaps have him hit. I mean, look at Josh Jacobs. What he was getting paid on his rookie deal. And it's not peanuts, but it's not Zeke's money. It's not Dalvin money for a guy that's giving you just last year is the leading rusher in the league and has consistently been a really good rusher. You get them guys on them contracts, you're able to do more things. But then at a certain point, you're like, well, do I just pay him or do I just go draft another one because the hit rate's so high?
Yeah, it's crazy, bro, to see like some of these guys just not find homes.
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott's still out there.
Yeah, like they really like need to start valuing the running back position because there's too many guys who are great that don't have a home or are currently locked into a contract that they're not happy with. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You think about Jonathan Taylor, you brought up, Josh Jacobs, and then you got Dalvin Cook, who, in my opinion, is still one of the top backs in the league, and he has no home.
Do you think Jonathan Taylor gets traded? He's
So,
asked for a trade.
so I kind of had a Raider theory.
Oh God, here we go with the Raider theories. Fucking Raider
Or a Raider
theories.
wish.
Okay, that sounds better.
Better. But the Raiders did start saying that they wanted to start talking to Josh Jacobs again to see where the market is, see what they can land.
Okay.
What if that's to see where he ranks himself financially in comparison to what Jonathan Taylor would cost us? And what if they start weighing the option of, do we pay Josh Jacobs again? Or do we go after a guy like Jonathan Taylor and invest the money into him instead of
Bro,
Josh?
that's bad business, big time. And I think if you
It is
go,
bad business, but the NFL is full of bad business.
yeah, but what does that do to other players on your team when their contract comes up? Do they do you get guys to fully buy into what you're doing if you go about it doing it that way? Like if you got because I would argue that Taylor and Jacobs are very comparable. And depending on who you talk to, some would favor Taylor more than Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Just slightly though,
Yep.
right? I don't think it's Jonathan Taylor and then by a wide shot Josh Jacobs. I would say they're really really up there, really close. I'd love to see what their stats are, both of them, since coming out of college, because they've been in the league both 4 years.
Yeah.
you know, I just think it sends a bad message to the locker room, bro. If you're like, hey, we're not willing to pay a guy that's already been here, bled, sweat, and invested 4 years of his career with us, but we're gonna go pay someone else's guy.
Well, I completely agree with you. However, to me, behind the scenes, there might be already something going on. Because why
It's
haven't
true.
they signed him,
It's
bro?
true.
Like, there's been, back and forth about him not happy with the way the situation happened with Carr.
Well, he wasn't happy about
And
McDaniels last year.
yeah, his productivity that he brought to the team last year. Typically, it's what have you done for me lately type
Yeah.
of scenario, right? Well, that's not the case in this case because last year he was the only really him and Devontae Adams were the real reason why we were even talked about.
Do you think that maybe the Raiders see last year as kind of an anomaly,
I
being
do.
that it was a contract year?
I do.
They didn't pick up his 5th year option, and he has some extra motivation to go out there and get it. And so maybe franchise tagging him this year to try to get one more great year out of him before moving on from him.
No, I totally do because they've made other moves. You know what I mean? They're constantly still making moves on the back end. We just brought in Damian Williams, who's depth in the running back room,
Yeah.
but he's still a valuable back. You know what I mean? So they're bringing in pieces in case things don't happen, right? They also signed Darwin Thompson. He's another running back, so they're adding to the running back room. You
That
know
sounds
what I
like they're
mean?
hedging
Like
their bets for next year that he's going to be gone.
that he's gonna be gone, bro. So
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, I think they are really preparing themselves for the future. It doesn't seem like they're investing in Josh Jacobs, which is sad to me because I think Josh Jacobs is valuable. I
Yeah.
think he is one of the best running backs in the league. And why get rid of a guy who's one of the best if you already have him?
Especially if you brought him up.
Yeah, like
It's not like he was like you brought him in as a free agent after a couple years somewhere else. Like you drafted this guy, you invested the draft stock into him, you invested the time into him, and it's got to be maybe a difference between him and McDaniel's or him and the staff.
Yeah.
that ultimately is leading to this. Maybe the writing's on the wall, like you said, and Jacobs knows it, and he's not going to sign the deal unless he gets a long term deal.
Yeah, and it worries me because this next draft we really should be focused on our future quarterback, especially in case Aiden O'Connell doesn't really cut it. I know he's doing things right now in camp. He's looking really good, but let's be honest, Jimmy Garoppolo is not the guy of the future.
That's your future. That's your future star, bud.
He's not the guy of the future. He's not going to be around for much longer,
Yeah,
honestly. Like,
yeah. Well, and
he's,
and with Garoppolo, we've seen it's just a matter of when, not if.
yeah,
He's going to get injured because he's been injured often. I think he's been injured in almost every single season that he's played in. So, and that doesn't go away as you get older. Unless you do some crazy shit like Brady and completely redevelop your whole lifestyle and stuff. But
yeah, bro, it's been crazy. There's a lot of transactions. I mean, there were some games, though, too. I mean, there's more today.
yeah,
More to come. Obviously, we had the Hall of Fame game, which was great. Shout out to that Hall of Fame class. Shout out to Demarcus Ware, bro, for singing the national anthem in the Hall of Fame game.
boy was getting it.
And he did good job, bro. Like from being a NFL player to an NFL analyst to singing, like what more can he do? And now he's in Canton.
Dude,
Like,
I love when I see like you every now and again like NFL Today or Fox Sports they'll do on Sunday mornings they do these little stories and shit. I love seeing the stories about these guys and they have more going on. Like football isn't we see them as football players, but football isn't what defines them. They got so many more talents or so many more things that they're passionate about that they love doing. And it's awesome to see it because a lot of times you see them do shit and you're like, oh man, they got similar passions to what I got. And
yeah.
they're just normal people, bro. They're not.
They are, but at the same time, on the same token of that, it does really define them. So it's also cool in the aspect of seeing them be able to navigate life after football, right? Because we know football consumes you, right? It is your life. So when you take it away,
Sure.
sometimes it's hard to manage, bro.
Yeah.
Just for us as coaches, you know what I mean, and former players, like it just totally controls you and consumes you. So when you take it away, it's really great to see guys channeling other talents and showcasing other talents and doing what they do, man. So shout out to Demarcus Ware. Shout out to the whole Hall of Fame class. What a great class it was. Shout out to the NFL for kicking off the season. We're getting ready to start it out. Just a few recaps. Texans, Patriots. Texans beat them 20-9. Steelers beat the Buccaneers 27-17. Packers beat the Bengals 36-19. Vikings lost to the Seahawks 24-13. Falcons defeated your Dolphins 19-3. The Giants lost 21-6 to the Lions. Watch out for those Lions. The Cardinals defeated the Broncos 18-17. Bills and Colts. Bills took that one 23-19. That should be an exciting matchup in the future in the regular season. Bears over the Titans 23-17. Jets walloped the Panthers 27-0. Jaguars beat the Cowboys 28-23. Eagles 20-19. Eagles lost to the Ravens, and then the Chargers beat the Rams 34-17. And today we have the Chiefs versus the Saints, and the Raiders versus the Niners. The Battle of the Bay goes on today.
There'll be some fights in the
There's no-
parking lot in that
And it's
motherfucker,
no longer the
boy.
Battle of the Bay, though.
There'll be some fights in the parking lot for that one.
It'll always be the Battle of the Bay, though.
Someone's getting stabbed.
Hey, that's what they usually say. It's gonna be fun, bro. It's gonna be a great season. I'm excited. Can't put too much value into all those scores I just said, right? Because it is the preseason, but it's fun to banter back and forth a little bit here and there and talk about who team sucks and who team doesn't.
Yo, you said shout out to that Hall of Fame class. Newest members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, cornerback, safety Rondé Barber, coach Don Coryell, linebacker Chuck Halley, defensive end, defensive tackle, nose tackle Joe Clayco, cornerback Darrell Revis, cornerback Ken Riley, offensive tackle Joe Thomas, linebacker Zach Thomas, linebacker defensive end DeMarcus Ware, and I felt did I mention Darrell Revis? Yeah, I did. Okay.
You did. Hey, what a great class, bro. You talk about all over the place, right? You got Joe Thomas, bro, Mr. Reliable. I forget the number.
And a man that
games.
retired a little early too.
Yeah, really retired early, but the guy who just like you could rely on him to be there. He was there for his teammates. He did what he did. Was arguably one of the best linemen to play the game, and it was just impressive. Then you got Revis Island. Looked like Revis has been chilling on that island a little bit because he gained a few pounds. I ain't going front, Doral. Your picture was a little different.
Stop fat shaming, coach.
Hey, I'm telling. Hey, he's living the life, baby.
No,
I
no.
ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's comfortability.
Hey, you
That's what it's about.
looking at Rondé versus Durrell because they played in the same era.
Yeah,
Nowhere near each other. I think Durrell was like light years ahead of Rondé.
yeah,
Like Durrell Rivas, there's a time, man. He was the best cornerback in the league, and Revis Island was a real fucking thing. Like you got locked up on Revis Island, you weren't having a good game. It didn't care if you were Randy Moss, didn't matter who you were. Revis Island was shutting shit down.
for sure. And then they got your boy in there.
Zach Thomas, a
Yeah.
long time coming.
We talked about him a while back on the pod, and it's well deserved, bro. There's
Great
a
linebacker.
couple guys in the game that again, it's lunch pail type of guy. Go to work, fly around, do what they do.
He was the
And
top
he's one of those
linebacker
guys.
in his era, one of the top linebackers in his era.
For sure.
He doesn't get looked at in the same way like Urlacher did and some of these other guys did that were, going on during his era. Maybe it's the lack of team success that kind of dictates that a little bit. But Zach Thomas was that dude since day one, bro. Once he got
it's-
into the league, he was that dude.
You know what's crazy about the Dolphins, bro? It's if you think about the Dolphins organization, they have had some damn good football teams.
Oh, dude, they've had some
And it's
great talent.
crazy to see like the lack of success
Yeah.
that they've had,
Yeah.
since '72, bro. It's like,
Well,
it's
listen, the
crazy
whole-
'cause you've had not only Zach Thomas, you had Taylor, bro, was a
Yep.
beast. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Them
Like, your guys'
defenses were great. We had no
were
quarterback.
Nasty.
Yep.
So hopefully they find their way to the glory land. Them the Bills, you know what I mean? Like the Vikings, like all these teams that have good teams, but just can't get it done.
The Dolphins are a perfect example of it takes more than just, an offense or more than just a defense to get it done. You need a special teams, you need an offense, and you need a defense to get it done. And the years that Zach Thomas played with Jason Taylor, they had a wonderful defense, fantastic defense, top defense. Just couldn't get the offense right.
Yeah.
The Sperano year, maybe the exception, but there was never no long-term success there. You think about Dan Marino and all the success he had, never had a running game, never one and I don't know if that's on Marino because maybe there's reluctance to allow that to happen. I know when Jimmy Johnson got there was some pushback between Marino and Jimmy Johnson because Johnson's the type of dude that wants to run the rock. He wants to move the ball and dictate like that. And Marino was ahead of his time in terms of passing. Like he was a dude that was doing things that these guys are doing right now, in terms of just his release, in terms of just being able to see the field the way he does and just dominate the air. But Zach Thomas unfortunately was on a couple of those teams where they weren't that good.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Finkel and Einhorn.
and then DeMarcus Ware, you asshole. You just jealous, dog. They ain't never made no movie about the Raiders that didn't involve motherfuckers getting out of prison.
That was the first generation of them.
Hey, that shit would never happen now. That movie would never happen now.
It's crazy, bro.
The ending scene.
Hey,
You
speaking
get
of
some teeth getting
movies,
upset.
speaking of movies, speaking of
Hold
shows.
on, man. We need to shout out to Marcus Ware.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Do your thing.
I was just gonna
I'd
say
give him a
that.
shout out, but
Well, I know, but we talked about these other guys. He's one that needs to be talked about too.
he
Though.
is. He's a monster.
He was, dude. He was so disruptive for Dallas.
Dallas. He was also
Well,
that guy for Denver. Bro.
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean, I always remember him as a Cowboy. I know he won a Super Bowl here, and he had 3 good years here. So I'm not going to hold that against him. But when he was with the Cowboys, dude, he was their defense for a long time.
yeah, and another team who just couldn't get it done during that era. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, because they had great players on those teams. You're right, bro. DeMarcus Ware was
Came here and taught Von Miller how to be a professional.
to me, bro. I feel like DeMarcus Ware figured out how to be a veteran very soon
Yeah.
in his career, and then he was that veteran leader in the locker room, on the field, during NFL Pro Bowl events, whatever the case may be. I don't really remember him having like real rookie dilemmas.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
he just figured it out, bro. He's a guy who knew what it took, and he got it done. And then he was the leader. Had great years in Dallas. They couldn't get it done. He came over to Denver and was a great leader to a future Hall of Famer in Von Miller.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Taught him how to be a pro.
And taught him how to be a pro. And now Von's doing the same thing for others. So, Demarcus Ware is one of those guys, that whole class, bro. Even the old school veterans were great, great, great players.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Now, sorry, talking about movies.
Yeah.
You seen any good ones lately? Or any good shows lately? Anything new?
I haven't really dived too much into the new stuff with being on vacation, getting in the mix of football. I am checking out that QB show on Netflix.
Okay.
I think it's called Quarterback. It has Pat Mahomes and
Heard a lot of good things
Kirk
about that
Cousins in there. There's great things. It is cool, bro. But one thing I take away from that show is Pat Mahomes is a lot more cockier and shit talker than I thought, bro. Like I'm starting to like him more now. Like at first I was like, this dude's.
You're gonna burst into
supposed to
flames
be-
wearing that shit you're wearing
Oh,
and
no, no,
saying
no,
you
no.
like you some Patrick Mahomes.
It is an individual.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. You can separate.
I have always enjoyed and give.
Is that because
flowers
he's y'all daddy?
when flowers is due to players as individuals? But no, I just like him because he talks his shit, bro. Like there was even a segment, honestly, where him and Max Crosby were going back and forth and talking shit to each other. He was talking shit to Max, and then they got the better of us, and he was like, "That's because I'm him." You know what I mean? And I was like, he sounds awfully a lot like somebody I know.
Oh,
And that's why I was like,
man.
I love somebody who is confident, a little bit cocky, but also just backs it up with play, bro. And so I could appreciate it. And he's also not a poor sport. You know what I mean? He has sportsmanship.
Yep.
He could be cocky and have sportsmanship all in the same time. There's nothing wrong with being confident in your abilities. And that show has showcased that for him. So shout out to that show. Shout out to him. Hard Knocks is coming up.
Yep.
I started watching the first episode, but I didn't get very far into it. Honestly, I fell asleep. But I'm excited to see the Aaron Rodgers Jet era.
It's FNYJ to me, so I'm not gonna watch Hard Knocks.
No, for real.
Probably, maybe a little bit. I'll probably watch a little bit.
Damn, you are an ultimate hater, bro.
Fuck the Jets, dog.
I hear you. I hear
I'm
you.
not over here. I'm not over here talking about how great their quarterback is. How much I love their quarterback because he's a shit talker. But that's how division rivalry is supposed to work.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all do things in Oakland, LA, Las Vegas.
No. Hey, listen. Nah, we it's still fuck the Chiefs,
Okay.
fuck the Broncos, and
Okay.
fuck the Chargers. But we all share one thing in common, and that's just if we got to give flowers when flowers are due, bro.
Man.
There's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, fuck them," but that dude's good.
Sometimes you got to be petty and just rip the heads off the flowers and hand them
halfway,
stems.
Like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool.
Fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah.
Nah, I
That's how
feel
it
you.
goes.
I feel you. Nah, I feel you.
What about you? What you watched?
So did you ever watch that show This Fool?
I did. Funny as fuck.
Second season.
Starting or it's getting
It's
ready?
out.
No.
All 10 episodes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to.
Mini Sala binge that shit.
You already watched the whole thing?
All 10 episodes.
Oh, fuck.
Dog.
Don't say nothing because I didn't even.
Dog.
Yeah, I got to do a recap of the last one.
It's definitely picks up. Yeah, that's what I did. It definitely it picks up, and let's just say, man, from hugs not thugs to mugs not thugs.
For real?
It's great, bro. You're gonna fuck with it.
Bro, I fucking can't wait to watch that. There's a lot of good stuff coming out. What else?
I've watched I don't know, it's new stand-up comedy. Tom Segura has a new special out called The Sledgehammer.
Nice.
That shit's hilarious, man. And I freaking been watching that a couple of times now. That one's funny though. He's got some really good jokes. I don't know if you've ever listened to Tom Segura or ever messed with Tom Segura. He's pretty fucking raunchy.
He is. Sometimes it's a little bit too. I don't know. I'm not even gonna say it, but sometimes it ain't my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel you. I mean, it's teach their own. It's not for everybody, and that's the great thing about it, man. But whatever.
But you know what? I gotta add this fool to my very
definitely do.
long list of shit I want to watch.
And I'll add and make sure I watch some Hard Knocks too.
Yeah. There's also, wait up, hold up.
Hold up.
You might not
Hold
enjoy
up.
any of these that I'm about to
Wait.
start talking about.
Oh, okay.
But did you remember the video game Twisted Metal on PS1 back in the
Yup.
day? There's actually a show based off of that game, bro. So I'm interested to watch it. DJ and I are gonna watch it. We'll see what it's about. It's on Paramount. I'm gonna check it out. It's called Twisted Metal, obviously. And then Billions. Do you watch Billions?
I've never heard of Billions.
You've never watched Billions?
I've never watched Billions.
Are you like into the stock market and shit like that?
I'm into bashing the motherfuckers that be taking our money through the stock market.
Check it out.
Yeah?
Check it out. Bro.
Okay.
It's a dope show. Shout out to Axel, fucking Axelrod, whatever his name is. I forget it.
Oh, Mark Axelrod?
No,
No? Oh, okay.
great show though.
What's it on?
It's on HBO.
Okay.
It's an HBO series. Billions. It's starting. I don't know if this is the final season, but it's like season number whatever. But it's a great show, bro. I can't wait to watch it. I'm a
Bet.
challenge guy. I'm a competitor, so I like to watch the challenge. They have a new season of that coming out. And then I'm also from the streets.
From the streets or the sheets?
So both. It's a true story. Fun fact. I was consumed in the sheets.
Consumed or conceived?
Conceived and consumed. But anyway, Power is also coming out with the new season of Book Force. It's the Tommy Egan Chicago special. It's gonna be dope. Can't wait. Season 2. It's gonna be fun, bro. There's a lot to watch that I'm not gonna be able to watch because football's back. But hey, I'm gonna try.
Hey, you know what I saw? And I'm going to fucking play it because I think it's so dope. But I saw that, and I sent it to you, that LL freestyle on Sway.
Bro, and weren't we just talking about like old school? Shout out to Midwest right there, right here, and talking about old school artists and new school. And bro, sometimes what they say in the Sandlot, legends don't die. Bro,
Hey, and I'll just say this, dude. Like LL, we talk about longevity in hip hop and like who made, like we talk top 5 a lot, and it's always changing, and it's always something, whether it be lyricists, whether it be artists, overall artists, whether it be, you can argue that LL Cool J's top 5, top 10, just overall impact in hip hop. He's transcended onto the main screen. He's transcended on the TV shows with NCIS, like, and then he comes out with this freestyle, man. And there's this on Apple, there's this program called Beef, right? I think it's called Beef, or What is Beef? It's an Apple Music, and it's just like a podcast. But this dude talks about the beefs in hip hop over the years. And so I was listening to that, and it talks about LL Cool J beefing with the various people that he's beefed with over the years, and then it plays the songs. And it's like, man, I slept on an LL back in the day.
Bro, LL's a spitter, bro.
Bro, he brought this. I'm gonna play it real quick, bro, and I'm just gonna mute us and play it. But he brought this out, dude, and it blew my mind, bro. I was like, yo, I didn't know LL got down like that still. Check this out.
Slow it down a little bit.
DJElite.com
There was
exclusive.
smoke when the mother's water broke. The doc saw the horns, oh my God, it's a goat. The nurse cut the cord, got shot with 1,000,000 volts. Almost dropped him on the floor, but the baby started to float. Umbilical cord turned into a gold rope. Mike appeared in his hand, his body started to joke. Angels injected him with lyrical dope. Same drugs they gave Hemingway and Edgar Allan Poe. The whole world's raving for the baby, the bell tolls. The crowd gathered around, throwing punches and elbows. Then his mama arose and recited a poem. Taught a hip-hop god, fuck rock and roll. Put his baby in the whip, there was a solar eclipse. Then the spirit came, wrote his name down in hieroglyphs. Break beats played, he had a speaker for a crib. She screamed, Jack the Rip, and ignited his gifts. To the parents, he's a legend, to the children, a myth. Here's some first-hand experience of Mr. Smith, alias Mr. Killing every rapper in his radius. Cyphers the stadiums, bars is vibranium. Molecular structure of the nucleus of his cranium. Platinum, uranium, lyrical titanium. In other words, whoever it concerned, if you fuck around with fire, you gon' get that ass. Turn to ash, true story, I'm walking crematorium. Helping rappers earn obituaries from historians. Banging on them, yellow tape and white sheets laying on them. Carved hand tombstones praying for him. Moving the chess pieces like telekinesis. As a toddler, he walked with 2 panthers on leashes. Learned early on where the mark of the beast is. By the time he hit puberty, slick it increases. Slicker than Odysseus on the Odyssey. Intellect is part of me, so pardon me if it's harder to follow me. What does that mean? He's a mythological melanated progeny of royalty, spraying you with soliloquies. Kill heron with the camouflage gear on. Ignorance is a virus, my ink is the interferon. The last poet, revolutionary with guns loaded. Back to elevate the culture, that's my only motive.
Yo, don't fucking sleep on LL still getting down, man.
Hey, dude, I love seeing like freestyles, bro. There's nothing like watching an artist, whether it's a true freestyle, whether it's a written, whatever, but go to a platform like that and just go in.
Yeah,
And
dude.
just remind everybody who they are. You sent me another one with Fab, FABOLOUS. And that dude, and everybody knows he's a bar spitter for years and decades. And he's another person who gets left off lists constantly. You know what I mean? But Fab, bro, they crowned Cassidy kind of the punchline king, but they slept on Fab. Like they better not just give that award away like it wasn't his.
Fat Ben having punchlines, bro. Here, I'll play it,
Forever.
dude. I'm gonna play it real quick. Fuck it, why not?
I feel like a rap Republican, red cap like I'm trumping them. Make loyalty cool again, don't ship jump with them. Haters wanna see Grace fall, Humpty Dumpty them. But I don't play with none of them snakes, that's low pumping them. Niggas bite the hand that feed them, how I chump with them. I ain't stepping on niggas' toes, I'm stomping them. Asshole, I don't like you, I don't bump with them. Trash holes don't get recycled, I'm just dumping them. I feel like I'm Lennox and Belly, who wanna run with them? Tell them let them instruments blow, they gon' trumpet them. Niggas can't fit in my shoes, still try to jump in them and run Forrest, jumping them. Catch me in LA with the leaguers, I'm trying to plummet them. Brooklyn, I be ballin', Kyrie, I'm on shumping them. If you need drugs, my plugs are still pumping them. My buddy love to move weight like Professor Clumping them.
Get it, bro. Like, come on, dude. Come on, bro.
Come on, stop sleeping on the old school, baby.
Bars, baby, bars. Hey,
He said, I'm not pumping them. Shots fired. Hey,
dude.
dude, I love hip hop.
Yo.
I love rap, bro. I love the music. I love the game. There's also a show while we were on shows. So I don't know if you ever seen it. I think it's on what the hell's the network? I forget the network. But there's a WWE show,
Okay.
right, where they go around and they look for old classic like gear and everything.
Memorabilia?
Like memorabilia. Yeah, I was thinking of the name. Couldn't come to me, bro. It's like right there. I was like, what is
Stuck in your mouth, couldn't get it out, huh?
Pause that. But anyway, there's a new show that's about hip hop.
Okay.
And they go around looking for memorabilia from hip hop, classic memorabilia. In the first episode, I got a glimpse of something about Biggie. I think they're going to look for like his cane that he took the picture in that he was holding.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty dope to
Like old relics of hip hop.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like
What's it called?
I'll tell you.
We'll
off.
Google that shit. Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll touch base with it on the next pod.
Oh, now you're gonna have to go find it yourself. You know, we're gonna have you out. If I, hey, you're gonna go find it yourself.
No, but it's a cool one, bro. So I'm interested in that one too.
Hey, so as we get close to getting out of here, Don, we've been going for an hour, and I know you got things to do tonight, and I got some things we're gonna go do. We're gonna hit the lake a little bit, go mess around. But the start of football season, man, what does that mean to you? What does it do for you, bro? Like, what do you think about it, man? What does it make you feel?
The first thing that comes to mind is family,
No.
right? Because family, they fight, they argue. We don't see eye to eye. Sometimes we have to give constructive criticism when it's not wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're a family, needless to say.
Okay.
And that's what football is, bro. You sweat together, you cry together, you win together, you take lessons together. Correct myself. And through all that, you build a bond, you build a friendship that is pretty unbreakable, bro. Like, we talk about it today and we think about life today, right? And a lot of the people that I talk to from my past really only are people I played football with or people that I coach football with. And and you know, those are some relationships that haven't always been the greatest, but they're still there and they're still intact because not only have we went through our own individual life and navigated through that, but we went through a period of life together where we had our ups and downs and we had success, and you know, those are things that we'll never forget and we'll always respect each other for. So, you know, I think football means family.
I feel that, bro, because like, you know, Dardano, like Frank, him and I, we don't hang out all the time or anything like that, bro. And you know, before we started coaching back to each other, we hadn't seen each other for a long time. But the minute we stepped on that field together, that love was still there, that feeling was still there, that passion was still there. That's my brother. You know, we bled together, we sweat together, and you go back to those days when you guys get to meet with each other. So I definitely could feel the family. My thing is sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because it's usually starting right at the end of the summer before school's getting back, and camps open up beginning of August, and you're sacrificing all that time, whether it be camping, fishing, if you're a kid, time with your friends, time with your family, going on vacations, whatever. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into their time with the family that you can't get back. And football means a lot of that to me, because it teaches me that, in order to get your goals, in order to reach the heights that you want to reach, every now and again, you're going to have to sacrifice some things that maybe you hold very dear to your heart, and you have to sacrifice them for a moment so that your time isn't going to that. Your time's going to the team. Your time's going to the betterment of the team. And, I think football is a very, it mirrors life a lot in what we do. And we find the ability to sacrifice things in order to get better. And I think when you learn that in football, you're able to apply that to real life and understand that. And it's not all fun and games. Like, we like to have fun. We like to play hard, or play harder, as my boy Zach would say with his podcast. But sometimes you gotta put that work in, build them calluses, so that when the tough times come, you're able to handle it and hold on to the rope.
Ain't that the truth, bro? And that's hitting actually a little bit home for me a little bit, because sacrifice. Talk about sacrifice, right? You know who I am as a person. You know how competitive I am. You know how anal I am about certain things as well when it comes to football and preparation and things like that. Like, I stand by proper preparation prevents poor performance. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean?
Yes, sir.
And so for me to sacrifice a lot of the preparation, right, that goes into game planning, as far as not being an OC or a DC on my team now, right? I'm just a head coach. I'm just the kind of navigating everything. It's tough, and even yesterday in our scrimmage was tough to like sit back and just like kind of like bite my tongue at certain things. You know what I mean? Bite my and just learn that it's okay to relinquish some of that and trust in people that you trust in, and let it play out how it's gonna play out. You know what I mean? And if you have to step in, you have to step in. But to be able to sacrifice that
What?
and not have that control has been messing with me a little bit, to be honest. But I'm also enjoying it because it's challenging me as a person.
Well, I think you said it. You said it too, man. Like, you gotta let people take losses sometimes so they can learn their lesson a little bit too. So sometimes you gotta have a little failure to get some success. And I think it's hard to watch somebody. You might know the answer right then and there, and it's like hard to watch them kind of try to figure it out. But you gotta let sometimes them figure it out for themselves so that they can appreciate that grind a little bit more.
Correct. Yeah.
That was our mailbag question. As always, if you guys want to get down with the mailbag question, visit dnasportsdenver.com/ask DNA, and make sure you get up on there with the mailbag question. Shoot it over to Dom and I. We can get it on here. Make sure you leave your name on it so we can give you some shots out as well. Always visit the website dnasportsdenver.com. Book a training session. See what we got going on with the podcast. Anything new coming up, man, we want to make sure we point you guys over to that direction to make sure you guys go and check it out. We're nothing without the support, man, and we appreciate the support we've gotten over the year plus, and we continue to try to make it happen, man. But Dom, we can get out of here. Our shout outs like we always do every week. Want to give a special shout out to Inkless Laser. In September, they're going to be starting to take consultations down. Lorenzo's giving me $200 gift cards to give out. So we'll have more information coming up on this show where we're going to give them the gift cards out. We'll figure it out whether it's going to be social media, whether it's going to be through the mailbag. We'll figure it out.
You better jump on it, or else I'm going to take it.
$100 gift cards to Inkless Laser to get some tattoo removal. They're new to the area, but they're not new to the game. They come with decades and decades and decades of experience and knowledge behind what they do, man. So shout out to Inkless Laser. Shout out to our boys over at Icon Sales and Icon Boxing, out there grinding, getting it in. Shout out to MCF.
Doing their thing,
yo.
Man. Shout out to Gigi. I seen it was
Gigi,
his birthday
happy
just
birthday,
the other
yo.
day, so shout out to you, Gigi. But hey, special shout out to Mario, bro. He is one person, bro, that always just does what he needs to do, not only for his company and the kids that he's coaching over at Icon, but for the community.
Yes, sir.
He's a community guy, bro. So we're starting our organization up.
Yes, sir.
And so I reached out to people who I knew were for the community, and Mario's one person that didn't hesitate.
That's what's up,
And
man.
I know that he's very humble, and he doesn't want the acknowledgement necessarily, but I just gotta say a special thanks from me right here in the public because, dude, what you're doing for not only those kids at your place, but the kids over at our place now,
Yes, sir.
it is remarkable, bro. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. So
Big shout out, brother. Shout out Anytime Flood Restoration, the Play Harder podcast, Rebel Promotions, Black Sevens, Janice's Catering, Lash All Beauty, the Cutthroat Barbers and Anglers, the Canyon Fly Shop, and of course, Westminster Youth Football Association. Shout out to my throwers. Shout out to my partner in crime right here to the right of me. No matter what jersey you wear, bro, you're always my dude, man. And it's
That's
always
what's up,
love,
baby.
man. It's always love.
sure.
And that's most importantly, shout out to y'all, man. You people that tune into our YouTube, that subscribe to our channel, that like us on Facebook, Instagram, that follow us, and do everything we're doing, man. We appreciate you guys, and we look to bring this to you as much as possible, and always want to be there for that. So big shout out to y'all.
Shout out, baby. Yeah.
With that, we're out of here. Peace.